Hello. And I thought about waiting a day so that I could go ahead and show off the games that are coming in the mail tomorrow because they're coming early instead of Friday. But decided to go ahead and go over it today because I have a bunch of digital games I need to look at on here, digital games on my computer, and then three physical things. Because I didn't play a lot of games yet. I've still been leveling up Pokemon. I'm thinking I'm going to save my next group of items until I've finished leveling up my Pokemon and have another game to talk about instead of doing a thing every week because it's the only thing I'm basically going to be able to show is stuff I get for Christmas. Whatever I get for Christmas. Which there'll be a fair amount, but it's not like it'll be hard to gather it up. So, okay, I'm going to start with the digital list on here, and then I'm going to go here. That way, I'm looking at the camera for the most part. I need to look at the digital list on my Switch 2 to start with, though. So, obviously, there's been a lot of sales going on. I wanted to make it so that I have all of the base Atelier games. So, the only ones I don't have, I believe, are Sophie 2, Ryza 2, Ryza 3. I have all the rest of them. Because I finally got Atelier Aisha. That was the last one for the Dusk series. And Nelki, Ateliers of the New World, which is like the newest thing. And then Atelier Lulua to round out the Arlen Quartet. Used to be a trilogy, was sold as a trilogy, and then she was sold separately. Okay. That's the end of the Atelier stuff. There's really three I didn't own because last week not just before I recorded last time, I had got Esker Logi, Lydian Suel for the and Ferris for the so Esker Logi's Dusk, Lydian Suel is mysterious, Ferris is mysterious. I think Sophie. Yeah, Sophie's mysterious. So I got the trilogy of the mysterious. I got the two. I now have the two Dusk ones. I didn't have Eska and Logi, and I didn't have Aisha. And it's cheaper to buy them separately than to buy the trilogy because I don't need the third one. I own it on PS3. And last time I had also gotten all of the Attorney games, the Phoenix Ace Attorney Trilogy, the Ace Attorney Investigations Collection, and the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I actually own on my 3DS the three Apollo Justice games. Alright, so moving on with that. Now I'm done covering those. On to, I think the rest of these are all visual novels on here. So you got Cinders, got Witch on the Holy Night. So Cinders, by the way, is a really cheap visual novel, even when it's not on sale. But it was on sale for like $3. It was $3 or $4, and the game has 24, 25 endings, and each ending plays out very differently. So there's a lot of nuance with each playthrough if you want to go for every ending. And it makes it very well worth it. It basically it's like a choose your own adventure novel. You easily can get hours out of that. All right, Witch on the Holy Night. So it took me a while because some people are like, it's just a straight through game. There's not really much to choose. You're just gonna get one ending, and I'm like, what? And then there was another thing that said, no, there's choices. There's a specific chapter with different things in it. And I'm like, I'm confused now. I bookmarked the one that does have some guidance for Witch on the Holy Night, but from what I understand, for the most part, it's like reading a book. There's not a whole lot of differentiation. There's just one chapter in it that throws you for a loop, I guess. I could be wrong. I don't know. It's hard to find actual guide for that game. I'm at the very least, I'm going to play through it blind first, and then that'll give me an idea of just how much I need to try to find. Moving on. Irish School of Wizardry. So this was a mobile game that I don't think you can get anymore. And they released it as a full package as a game, as a visual novel, where you could actually just play through every single route. I dabbled in the mobile game and enough to know that I liked it, and then I never actually got it, which is terrible on my part. Alright, I'm gonna pronounce this wrong. Ayakashi Koi Gikyoku? I don't. It's the one that has the people with looks like kitty ears on them on the art, and I just okay. My Pokedex thing is in the way of me seeing the options of like how to control this stuff. All right, options, view details. Yeah, it's not really telling me anything. Anyway, moving on. I can tell you who made it though. Digimerse is the creator of that one. All right, the Men of Yoshiwara Kikuya, I think is how you pronounce it. There's two different ones. I got the one that starts with a K. Mainly because that's the one I saw a guide for. I'm just gonna call it as I see it. It's visual novels. I need guides. All right. Spiral Memoria. The Summer I Meet Myself. Ephemeral Fantasy on Dark. That one's kind of interesting. Your four characters are not human. Granted, it's not telling us that we're human either. They're calling us a zombie, though we look human. Mind you, they look kind of human until you like kind of look at it. You're like, no, that one definitely. He has a little pokey tooth and he has ears he's hiding. He's definitely the werewolf, and I'm sure the vampire guy has something he's hiding. The mummy one's a little obvious because he has like a bandage on half his face and around his neck and stuff. It's like, okay, buddy. The Invisible Man, though, it's some of the images for just advertisement. He's not invisible, so I'm like, does he just like come and go? I'm very curious for that. Alright, Sentimental Deathloop. This is an interesting visual novel. It plays kind of like an adventure game. You have to like walk around and interact with things in order to progress through the visual novel. And basically, if you choose the wrong stuff, you'll die, get sent back to last save point you was at, and get to try again. Moving on, The Crimson Flower That Divides Lunar Coupling, The Charming Empire, and finally, Gakuen Club. Trying to see, because I know I got it installed. Does it actually tell me anything on here about this one I can't pronounce? Oh my gosh. Guess I could check the eShop. Like, I think it has like a subtitle name. Yeah, okay, here we go. Forbidden Romance with Mysterious Spirit. Thank you. So that's what the Akashi whatever, I can't pronounce all that stuff is. I don't know, that might be like, I'm not sure. So it just tells you that they are mythical spirits. It's not very clear. Oh, they're foxes. Okay. They're foxes. Like I said, I didn't really do it looked interesting, and I like visual novels, okay? There's not a whole lot of in-depth thought that goes into this decision process. Let's put it that way. Oh gosh. I knocked something over. Pick it up. Alrighty. Now, onto the ones on my computer. So, not all of these are visual novels, but I don't care. That's just how I do stuff. Alright, so you got Lost Dimension, X-Blaze Code Embryo, Slay the Princess, The Pristine Cut, Psychedelica of the Black Butterfly, Psychedelica of the Ashen Hawk, Amnesia Memories, Operation Abyss, New Tokyo Legacy. And I also got the DLC for the Hakuoki game. I forget what it's called. But it's a Kyoto Winds and the Edo Blossoms both had like a DLC thing on here. I think that was it. My screen was glitching for a second. I had to fight with it. Yeah, I do believe those are the only ones I bought. I'm looking at the icons on my screen here. I'm like, I think that's it. I think the rest of these are just downloads from free games that I just none of them are new free games. Yep. Alrighty. So yeah. So let's deal with all that. So some of them are visual novels, some of them are RPGs. And at least one of them's kind of like a mix between RPG and visual novel. Might be two of them that are that situation. Because I'm trying to remember, I know that X-Blaze Code Embryo is like a mix. It's like a RPG, but it's a visual novel. And I think Operation Abyss New Tokyo Legacy is the same way, but I'm not 100% sure. Lost Dimension is straight up an RPG. But Slay the Princess, the two Psychedelica games, and Amnesia Memories are all visual novels. So I didn't actually own Amnesia Memories. The copy I have on my Vita is digital through PlayStation Network via PlayStation Plus. And I never know what PlayStation Plus is doing with its catalog. Sometimes it says you have the games, sometimes it says you don't. The only way to see that I have it is if I look at it on my Vita, and that makes me insecure. So, I went ahead and got it on Steam because Steam's a little bit more trackable. It's easier to see that I actually own it, which makes me less concerned. So, I went ahead and got that. That made me feel better. And like I said, I got those two DLCs I've been wanting to get. It's just like bonus content. It's nothing like part of the main story. It was just stuff I wanted. Don't really need it technically because the physical release I have of the Hakuoki, I forget the title. The last one that came out, that was on Switch. It has all of that in there. It has Edo and Kyoto and all their side content all combined together. Supposedly. I'm under the belief of I'm just going to own them all anyways. Because I have the PSP one, I have the PS3 one, I and I have those on Steam because I think they were either PS Vita or something of that nature. And I got them on the computer basically. I was like, I just get them on PC. Just no, you're hurting my brain, Hakuoki. Too many Hakuoki games. And then obviously I got that Switch one, and I pre-ordered the one. It's been updated to come out in February, I guess. It's kind of like a spin-off title of the Sweet School Life. So keeping on top of the Hakuoki. I will have it all. Alrighty. Speaking of things I had pre-ordered, this finally came out. Anima Gate of Memories 1 and 2 Remaster. So, it was like an action RPG, or at least that's what it was labeled as, for the PlayStation 2. It's one of those things where I don't know how much RPG is in the RPG. I've noticed a lot of the PlayStation 2 action RPGs are just action games. There's action adventure, truth be told. But I'll see. Maybe it'll actually have some stats in this one. So, like, an action RPG would be Dungeon Siege. You change your armor and your weapons, and you learn spells and stuff that give you better numbers to do damage. Whenever you just go around beating stuff up, that's not an RPG. That's just action game. It doesn't matter how far you explore if your stuff is the same. I want to throw that out there because some people were confused in the PlayStation 2 era. And I'm like, I don't think they know. I can't remember what it is because I don't think I own it. I think it was one of the games I looked up what it was about and was like, that's not an RPG. That's just action adventure. You guys are confused. Alrighty, moving on. The other stuff I got, so not actually a game, but it's based off of a game I played as a child. So, Golden Axe came out on the Genesis back in the day, and I legit love Golden Axe. And I saw this figure for $6 on the Walmart website, so ordered him. So I never actually learned the names of these characters. I didn't have a book. I just had the cartridge. I still have the cartridge. So now I know his name is Gilius Thunderhead. And on the back it tells you he comes with his broadsword. I think it might say it on the front here. Yeah, at the bottom. These little bullet points. It tells you broadaxe. And then the other stuff's basically broadaxe in another language. Good for them. Anyways, it tells you 24 points of articulation. Doesn't matter. I'm not taking him out of this box because I love this art. You got the art. This was like the cover art if you had actually got the box the game came in. And it has a little picture from the game. This is straight up from the game. This is when you use your special move in the game. Lightning shoots out and just goes all over the ground, just absolutely decimating any enemies in the area. I use it whenever the people are in the area riding on those beast things, and there's more than one of them, because that's not fair. That's generally whenever I would use that move. I was like, yep, you know what, I'm clearing the area. I have had enough. And then I could not find this myself, but somebody got it for me for Christmas. It is the Hello Kitty water bottle. It's a Hello Kitty water bottle. It's not like the Starbucks one, but I had looked for this and could not find it for the life of me. So I'm very happy to have this one. And it's so cute. She's in her little winter outfit. I know it's not technically game related, but I do have everything but one Hello Kitty game. 2, actually, now Freeze Tag came out. I'm not getting Freeze Tag. I don't have anybody to play with. I think I should stick with the Hello Kitty single player experiences. I don't know that I can play that one really single player. The other party games that are Hello Kitty, you can play single player, because they're just a bunch of mini games. The Freeze Tag, I'm not so sure. It kind of really implies that you should play that with somebody else. But yeah, I'm happy. Got the straw, and it's one of the good straws. You can't accidentally yank it out if you knock it over or something. So, super excited. This is something, I don't know if I'm going to use it during the winter, even though it's like, winter designed. I definitely can use it like in the spring and the summer when I'm like exercising and stuff. It's something I need to wash it still. I just kind of been putting it with, I have like very limited Christmas display because I'm still going through stuff in my room. So I just was like, I'm just going to put it with my Christmas display. It's kind of Christmassy. It has Hello Kitty being cute. It's something I can use whenever I don't want to fill this big cup up and I need water. So it's a good alternative because it's not as big. I also can use it for like if I want to do like G Fuel or Freshen Up Energy or whatever the names of them all are. They got so many. You just put them in the water and you stir it up or shake it up. And this, you would just stir it up real good. And there you got a sort of energy drink to drink. They do have less caffeine in them than coffee. I don't know if anybody's ever actually looked at these things. I've realized I was looking at energy drink can one day, and I looked how much caffeine was in it, and I said, "Well, how much caffeine is in a cup of coffee?" And it was half that amount. I was like, "So these energy drinks have less caffeine in them than coffee." I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I should be concerned about my coffee consumption or my energy drink consumption. I only drink energy drinks like once or twice a week, but I drink coffee once or twice every single day. Generally twice a day, sometimes 3 times if I'm really tired. And I'm like, coffee might be worse. I don't know. So I thought I'd throw that out there, something I learned. Anyway, so yeah, I went ahead and made plans to use this for that because that's gonna be cool. Plus, I have like other stuff. I have like these hydration things. They're like mixed berry flavor. You put them in the water, and it makes the water more hydrating. I guess is the word. I don't want to explain it. It makes drinking 1 cup equal to like 8 cups somehow, which is good for people like me who does not drink enough water. I don't. I'm terrible. It's something I need to work on. This will help me. So I'm super happy about that. And this is super cute. So I went over the games. There's nothing really to talk about with what I've been playing. Leveling up Pokemon. Seriously, there's nothing to say there. It's not that fun. I don't know 100% for sure still. I've not actually looked it up. But I feel like the higher level your Pokemon is, the longer it takes to level it up in Legends ZA. I'm not sure why that's became a thing, because I've noticed it looks like there's less experience points being given the higher level the Pokemon. And I'm like, but why? Because the higher the level the Pokemon, the more experience they need. They go from needing like 800 to needing like 10,000. But the Pokemon go from giving like 110 to 48. And I'm like, the bunnies are still the same level in this area. I don't think their level has changed any. So I'm pretty sure that there's some messed up leveling situation with that. Now, and again, I've not added up the experience points across all 6 Pokemon to get a grand total to see if that's going down. But I think it is, because it doesn't make sense. So, no matter how much I look at it, it looks like that's what's going on. I might use a different straw than this, though, because this one's plastic. Kind of bothers me. It feels like it's bendy. But I got several straws. I got ones that are, like, that reusable stainless steel stuff. And they have one of the little stopper things on them. Yeah, because this doesn't look like it's straight. The straw looks bent. I know I'm weird. I'm like analyzing a straw. Sorry, it's more better. It's better than looking at the fact that I feel like Pokemon's jipping me with this game. It makes me really question if I want to get the DLC or not. Because I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to pay full price just to continue to have to struggle to level up Pokemon. As much as I like the Pokemon, and as much as I like the idea of Mega Evolving them, I don't know. Maybe if the DLC goes on sale, I'll get it. Right now, I'm not sold on it. The game's starting to kind of tick me off with the leveling situation. Because I'm like, it shouldn't take longer to level it up like this. Like, it's taking longer than it should. Because I'm like, I'm thinking back to the Game Boy games with their inconsistent situation where you had to level up each individual Pokemon. There was no group leveling. I leveled those Pokemon up way faster than I'm leveling them up now. To which I'm like, I think the programmers are making it so that it's harder to get your Pokemon to a high enough level to finish evolving them, which is not very nice. Like I said, I haven't looked into it exactly, but I do believe that's what's going on, and it really is affecting my opinion of the game. Because I like Pokemon games, but this game is starting to get lower and lower on my list. It's starting to drop down there with Arceus, which I don't like because it implies that you need to catch a bunch of the same exact Pokemon, and I don't want to do that. Like, I'm not making Pokeballs this time. They're throwing them at me. But leveling is a chore, and I don't like that. I want to be able to level up all my Pokemon and fill out my Pokedex without being inconvenienced. So, I don't know. It's kind of getting itself put on the I don't like this Pokemon game list. I might change my mind at some point, but right now that seems to be the case. I went from liking it to I don't know now. I'm all for the new storyline, like this strange phenomenon going on with the Mega Evolutions happening randomly in the town. I want to see what's going on with that. The government being iffy and questionable. That's kind of cool. A cool plot device. But whenever you make the main component of the game leveling Pokemon not fun, you lose me. That's about all I can say about that. Alright, I'm not going to just keep repeating myself. This is what I'm starting to do. But mainly because it frustrates me to no end. Perhaps I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments. Is what I'm seeing legit? Or am I just overthinking it? I mean, I could be overthinking it. That would be nice. Be nice if I'm wrong. But, if I'm right, feel free to let me know. Yes, that's what's going on. Maybe it bothers you too. Maybe I'm not the only one who's looking at the newest Pokemon game and going, I hope this is not the path that Pokemon is taking. Because if it is, I'm out. Granted, I'm also out of the next one. The next one's like Animal Crossing meets Pokemon. I'm like, I got Animal Crossing. And I could barely play that. Thanks. Cool. Anyway. Until next time. Hopefully I actually play something else this week. I'm almost at the point where I'm about to just say screw it about leveling up all these Pokemon. It's like I'm gonna wait a day or two out from that to just you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm gonna play something else. We'll see. I'm trying to hold in and actually do it because I'm so close to being done. At the same time, it's taking so long. Until the next recording, maybe it actually will be next week. I hope. We'll see. It'll be nice if I actually get to play something besides Pokemon, or if I actually finish leveling and make progress in Pokemon. I'm for that too. At this point, whatever progress is for me. Until then, bye bye.